one thing that's super cool about this business is literally I posted in this ambassador club. Did you know the ambassadors have a super secret private Facebook group page, and we all get to talk about everything in it? But anyways, I posted in here and said, hey, I want to do a big Diamond and Above collab. And so here we are. We have tons of questions that have been submitted by you guys, and we are so stoked about it. It's just going to be an awesome Zoom. And so basically what we're going to do is, and we have like probably close to 10 ambassadors that are on here, and we are going to go through and answer the questions that you guys have. I'm going to kind of be the mediator and ask these questions. And then as a question is asked, Ambassador Diamonds only will unmute themselves to answer the question. If you have an additional question, do not unmute yourself, just put it in the chat, either to me privately or to everyone, whatever you prefer, and we will get going. So I'm just going to go, ambassadors, I'm going to go in the order that I received them, so you'll kind of know a little bit how that goes. So the very first question that we received is from a diamond, and they said, when someone asks you, what is it exactly that you do, how do you respond in a way that doesn't seem like we just sell and promote on social media, because people don't see the big picture in that? How do you get them excited about it? So I'm not sure. I think Kendra was going to hop on this one.
Repeat the question.
Okay, here we go. So when someone asks you, what exactly is it that you do? How do you respond in a way that doesn't seem like we just sell and promote on social media, because people don't see the big picture in that?
Oh, for sure. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Kendra Schwartz. I think that a lot of times when we're coming into this business, your teams, yourself, you guys don't see the dirt road that got us to Ambassador. And you guys all have your own dirt roads too, right? And so for me, how I built my business was more belly to belly, being out meeting people, building those relationships. And I really think that we need to focus on our business just like Mark teaches us, with a third, a third, a third. And so a third of that is developing your team and working with your leaders and having that layered leadership and filling their needs and doing wrap parties with them and helping them with scripts and things like that. But we can't only be doing that. And then our third of our time really needs to be spent on that personal development piece. If you are not doing personal development on a daily basis, you are missing out big time, because I can probably vouch for every single ambassador that is on this Zoom right now, as well as the other ones. Plugging in daily is an absolute must, And that has catapulted my business. And it's easy to get in our own heads, I think, a lot of times. And when you feed your mind the right food, which is, reading really good books, surrounding yourself with the right people, it's going to fuel that fire. And then a third of our business is finding new. And so it's sending out messages. It's building those relationships, looking for new friends that you can talk to and meet with on a daily basis, versus just sending out messages and hiding behind your phone, because there's so much more to that in this business. It's getting told no. It's going into tanning salons and proposing this opportunity to them and getting really courageous. Like I drove by one. I was in Indiana yesterday, and I was in a new area. I was launching a new distributor, and I seen a tanning salon. So I turned in there scared to death, but we have to do those things on a daily basis in order to face our fears. And so it's just taking action on a day-to-day basis. It's not just sitting behind your phone, because I know that a lot of these girls have built their business on social media. However, there's a lot that takes place outside of that as well. It's the follow-up. It's, how are your family, your kids doing? It's that relationship strengthening as well. And I don't know if anybody else has anything that they want to add on that.
I will add something. So I think it's very important when you're talking to potential. I always just give them other people's stories. So I say, I did move to a new state. So I did build mostly over social media because I didn't know anyone around me. But I know a girl that, went ambassador in 10 months from just parties. So I open up those 2 doors and I tell them, I do believe that social media takes a minute to build up. So doing parties is going to be faster. I'm very honest with them because social media does take a minute to build up if you don't have it built up. So I tell them parties is faster because I want to encourage that. But that's how I give them those, options of it's not just social media. Maybe that's what you see from me, but half the company got to where they're at with just parties. So that's kind of how I explain it to potentials, just short and sweet.
Perfect. Okay, I think that answered that first question very well. So I'm going to skip ahead to the next one. This is a question from a double diamond, and they say, getting large amounts of volume in a month for promotions or bonuses, what do you do to get it? And to get your team to contribute in signing loyal customers if they're already posting, messaging, following up, but just not enrolling. So basically this is like, I guess, volume boosting tips.
Okay, so I'm not sure, Carrie, did you mean this one or the last one? I don't know. But I'll just add on this if anyone doesn't have anything to say yet. But for me, what has really changed things, because the first time it took me, 2 years to go triple, 2.5 years to go triple. Whereas my 2.0 is going triple now in basically 5 months this month. So for me, the biggest difference was that I do believe that if we have, 10,000 volume, you can't do it all yourself in a couple weeks. Like we'd like to say okay, I need 20 distributors. I have to do it myself. Yes, that's a good mindset to have, but think about it logically with volume. It's impossible for you to get 10,000 volume yourself in a couple weeks. So what I have been really doing is stop putting all the workload on me and kind of just delegating. And that has worked really well for me. And so I get their commitment. I don't tell them, hey, this is what you need to do to go Ruby or to go Diamond. I don't tell them. I ask them, listen, I'm going triple. I want you to be one of my rubies. I want to help you get there. I'm willing to help you get there if you are willing to help me do half the work. And I will say, okay, you fill in these 2 people on your top line. I'll fill in the executive. And then I go to the executive and I say, listen, if you fill in this one, I will fill in this other. So on my entire triple chart, I may be doing 1/4 of the volume, and everyone hits their promotions by just doing a couple people. Even the diamond, they do a little bit more, obviously, because they're going diamond, but they do a little bit. The rubies do a little bit. The emerald does a little bit. And that has been mind-blowing for me because everybody feels like they're that much closer. And especially when you go fast, when you're placing distributors, these people don't even know how to get those masses of customers yet. They don't. They're brand new. So to be able to say, listen, I know we're going really fast with distributors, but here's a couple things I want you to do, and it's going to get you to the promotion because I'm going to take care of the rest. That has worked really well for me. So yeah.
One thing that I'll say that I think I did this with my promotions, but I had never really taught my team to do it. And then Jocelyn actually did a video on it. And it helped too. My last 2 personally enrolled diamonds that hit in the last 2 months, they both, so what I do is I take a diamond chart and go into TreeViewer and I add up every single volume. So say you were trying to promote this month, I add up, or somebody under you is trying to promote this month, I will add up every single volume under every box of the auto shipments that are supposed to run. And then, so I did this on the 1st of the month, last month, and one of the girls she needed 6,000 BV in order to go diamond. She was pretty new and she needed a lot of BV. So I literally took that and divided that number by 110, and I don't remember what it was. I was like, okay, you have to sell 43 systems. And okay, so 43 systems is a little outrageous, but it gave her a gauge of what to work towards. And then she went to the people underneath her and was like, oh, she did the same thing with them. Okay, you need to go Ruby. You need to sell 7 systems And they just kind of all worked together that way. And the promotion happened organically. No volume was purchased whatsoever. And so I feel like, one, she said that looking at it as a system, you know, I have some young girls on my team that they can sell hair, skin, and nails like, you know, it's nobody's business. But hair, skin, and nails is going to take you a lot longer to get to a promotion than a system is. And so my girl that just went diamond said, I probably never would have pushed the system because she thought that it was too expensive for people, and so she was scared to push it. But then once she started posting before and afters of the system and talking about the system and using the system on herself, then she started, I mean, literally, I think she sold like 14 systems last month because I told her she needed to sell 43. And so it's all in your mindset, I feel like. And if you can teach people what exactly they need, I'm a very red personality, but when it comes to stuff like that, I need to see concrete numbers of what I'm working towards. And so that is one thing that I really feel like has helped people just get a grasp on, like, okay, well, that's great. I've got a chart and I've got names in a chart, but how do I make all of this come together?
Really quickly, if no one else has anything to add on this one, I got this from Christy, and I focus 100% on the results tab in our website. You know, it's the system, it's the metabolic burn, the target trio, and I sell a lot of those. And so anytime somebody I post about weight loss challenges or a bikini body challenge all day long. And when people message me, I just say, okay, how much weight do you want to lose, and how is your eating? And depending on the answers they give me, if it's a big number, then I'm like, okay, you need the system. If you're a terrible eater, okay, you need the system. If it's not a huge number, then I'm like, okay, let's get you on the target trio, because 80 in volume is still way more than what you probably would have gotten from it. So always upsell, like always suggest those packages, because most of the time they'll buy them just because you suggested them. And if they can't afford it, then that's when you could say, well, okay, well, let's just get you the shake and the fat fibers then. And that's still a big order. Okay, next question. Oh, I wanted to add this too. I put every single person that's in a 400 box and plus anyone that's going to be promoting in a group chat. And every single day I will give them maybe one post idea and one message idea that they can be sending out to follow up and to do. Because most of the time, those new distributors, sometimes, yeah, it's going too fast for them, but if you tell them exactly what to do and exactly what to say, that's when you'll get those customers from them.
I can also say on my 2.0 from going, it's at a double diamond now, one thing that's really worked for me. So when I very first started the business, I went triple diamond in 4 months. And I really feel like it's because I had a group chat instead of like just a team page. And I didn't do my own team page until I was like far into presidential. And that was just because we didn't have a team page to plug into anymore. But I started with my 2.0, a 2.0 chat. And if people aren't active, I remove them out of it now if they're not running their auto shipment, if they're not participating. So that way I can keep it under 100 people so it doesn't, knock us to where we can't have it anymore. And so something that really works for me pushing for customers and volume is I will literally say next 5 people are going to get a surprise from me. I don't tell them what it is. I have product on my shelf. I have little journals. I have different things. I've also sent just like a $5 Starbucks gift card through via email. But I feel like those little challenges to set some urgency has been huge for my 2.0 team.
Agreed. Okay, next question from a double diamond. What is your opinion on diamond and above leaders taking their teams and starting their own team page?
There was someone that had a really good in the group chat that we had, there was someone that had really good points. I can't remember who it was. Was it? Oh yeah, it was Kendra. Kendra, are you still here?
I am. My team's probably going, we're tired of hearing about this. Okay, so here's the deal. When you have your team page and then your downline starts their own team page, it's a monkey see, monkey do. They follow their steps of success if you followed your steps of success, right? And so what happens is you lose people. So now all of a sudden you're a diamond or a double diamond or a triple diamond. You got your own team page. Well, they've got their own team page. Now I need one. What happens is you're lost in translation at that point because those pages are not a main hub. And sure, you might want to communicate with your team, but just like Ashley said, use a group chat to communicate with your team. And if you want to know who your team is, you're going to run the reports and figure out who they are. And those sideline relationships are really strong. Here's an example. We had a double diamond that had her own team page. They were not plugged into the main hub. They weren't on Zooms. They didn't, know a lot of us, which is fine if they can handle that. But she had life happen. She's going through a lot of life right now. Therefore, her team page was quiet because she was the leader in that page. And now those distributors are clawing their way back because they had no communication with anybody because they weren't plugged into anywhere else. And so we recently did this. I reached out to several ambassadors and I said, what are your guys' thoughts? What do you guys want to do? And Amy McTurry, one of my presidential diamonds, is like, okay, I have a team page. I know you have yours. I feel like it's kind of duplicate. And so I said to my whole team, I said, I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do. And so I closed down my main hub team page to create a brand new page with everybody coming back together. And for me, I feel like it has created that excitement again, that momentum, because you lose that. It's like pouring a glass of water or a glass of wine. You pour a glass of wine or water into a cup, okay? So that's your main team page. And then you pour it into another cup, and by the end of it, you have nothing left. And you're spread so thin. And when you're adding new people in, do you want them to have the meat and potatoes? Or do you want to be a one team, one leader, or do you want to be one team, one mission, right? And so I would rather have somebody thrown into a main hub. That's where they go. That's all that they know, and they don't know any different. And I tell you guys, the excitement, the momentum that you're going to get back from your teams and the people that are going to come out of the woodwork that really want this opportunity but didn't even know all of these ideas and things existed is going to be phenomenal. And I didn't open my own team page until I was a very strong triple diamond. I probably didn't need to at that time. Pam Souter came in after the fact and said, don't open it till you're at least presidential. And there's a reason for that. They're time wasters. They're, you get in management mode. How many people have promoted and then decided that they wanted to manage their teams and instead of going out and doing, and this is a big reason for that. So that's my take on that. It's been a blessing and I love it. And I appreciate the team supporting us all in this idea.
I have something that I want to interject to really quick. And it was mostly, or let me figure out how to talk. It was mainly my experience, and that was that I created my own team page when I was a Ruby. I'm a red personality, so I was like, I'm just going to take charge, and it wasn't that anybody was doing anything wrong for me. It was mostly that I just felt like I would be a better leader, and so I wanted to do it mostly for myself, and I think that's what a lot of people think. But they don't realize when they take on all that responsibility, you're taking away from the fact that you need to be building. So until you are very strong in, presidential, like Pam says, I think it is a total, I don't want to say waste necessarily, but it can be a black cloud over your business because you're taking on way too much responsibility when you could be just sprinkling a little bit of sunshine onto your leaders page. And that is going to create more excitement because you're not only pouring into your own team, but they can see that you have sidelines that are in that main thing. It's saying, oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration, you're amazing, stuff like that. And I would do that, and I would see that in the other pages that I was in. And then I was like, you know what, I missed that because my page was quiet. And I would post something and I would do a team challenge and, nobody participated. And it's because I needed to be building. I was spreading myself completely too thin and pouring into dead legs because I wasn't trying to build. I was trying to be a leader. So I think it's super important to just sprinkle sunshine on your leaders' posts and in their page and just let your sidelines and be inspired by you. And that's basically it.
Okay, unless anyone else wants to add in.
I would just say too that not everybody's like, I always just think about the color personalities, and not everybody's going to mesh with my personality, you know, but they may mesh with other leaders on the team. Or, you know, you break off and create your own team page as a diamond, and you've only got, you know, diamonds are average 24 distributors on your team, and you're all they have as either, you know, a really green personality or a really red person. They may not like feel like they fit with you, but if you've got multiple leaders that all have different personalities, they're going to connect to people. And I feel like that just gives people that the more you can connect with people in this business and build relationships within the business is what keeps the longevity of the business, I feel like, for people.
Okay, I think that answered the question very well. The next question is from a diamond. She's asking, how do you encourage or help your team without it seeming like you are micromanaging them? I want to start off. This is something that Pam Souter said, that when she said it, it was like a light bulb went off for me. She says, well, does corporate call you and say, hey, you haven't done your steps to success this month. Hey, what's going on? Hey, you haven't been posting very frequently. No, they don't do that to us. And so, you know, when I heard that, I was like, you know what? She's right. I should never do that to my team. I think the biggest thing, I mean, looking at what Pam does is they lead by example. They do their steps. Or Pam at the beginning when she was working the field, she did the steps to success and just showed everybody what to do. And that's exactly what we should be doing as leaders. And I think it's very important to keep in consideration that 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. You know, 1/3 of your time working on building your business, 1/3 working on building your top 10, and then that 1/3 working, personal development. So I think it's really important that way.
Well, I will just add to that, because if you feel like you're micromanaging, then you probably are. Because I've never in my life felt like I was micromanaging, because I've always, just from the beginning and just from seeing what other people did right and did wrong and asking people and talking to people, it was always like, do not try to be, everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody wants the recognition. That's, I think, why people make team pages. They want people to know that they're on their team, things like that. But I can say for certain that promoting, signing people, that is what is going to get you that leadership. That's where everyone's going to look up to you if that's what you're looking for. Because we love that, you know, it's part of the business. And micromanaging is only going to make your business go down and make people feel like you're bossing them around. So just take a step back. And I follow up with my newbies and my, you know, team members that are active on a personal level. I ask them if they need anything just so I know they're there. But unless I'm working with somebody specifically on my chart game planning, I'm not like, hey, have you signed anyone this week? Just don't do that. They don't want to hear that. And you know what? I have had new people, they start and they don't do much. And then I know some people, they kind of nag at them. They're like, where are you? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then they come to me and they're like, why is this person not responding to me? I'm like, take a step back, give them a breather. They just started a business. Not everybody is gung-ho right out the bat. I wasn't. And thank goodness nobody nailed at me, because I would have ran the other way. They will start when they're ready. I have people that, you know, ignored my text message, and then I just take a step back and a week later they're like, okay, I'm ready. And I don't have to talk to them about posting. They're doing it. We have all the training. It's all here. We all know what to do. It's just them deciding that they're ready. So don't feel like you have to manage anything, because the people that are going to do it are going to do it. And the people that aren't are not. Just don't shut them out. I think that's the biggest thing to prevent yourself, you know, from micromanaging. That is all.
Okay, I'm going to hop to the next question just because I want to make sure we're answering as many as we can. This next one is from a triple diamond. When do you rebuild versus stack distributors? What do you do with the non-working diamonds? Do you throw that away or do you build new?
honestly think that that's where it's really important to be like digging in the depths of your, like I look at my downline activity on a daily basis and figure out who's enrolling people, where enroll. That's another thing I love about a big team page too, is we do like a boom post. And so like every time somebody signs somebody, they can post, boom, loyal customer, whatever. And it helps to see if there's anybody working within the depths of your chart that maybe you miss. And so that's where I wouldn't necessarily, I hate the term rebuilding because we should always be building. And so you should never be rebuilding. But I think that that's where it's important to try to find people within the depths. I've had people say, well, they're not personally enrolled. You guys, that doesn't matter if somebody's personally enrolled. You can get to an ambassador with 5 people that aren't personally enrolled to you. I don't know if that helps.
I'll add this too, just because it's fun to hear experiences. So when I first was getting going, it was 2014. I promoted to double in August, and I really wanted to get to triple by the end of the year. And I was pushing super, super hard for it. It didn't happen. I promoted my husband Taylor to double by the end of the year. So then I just had to worry about the 2 diamonds outside of my big double leg. January 14th, that very next month, one of my diamonds completely canceled her account. I was devastated. But you know what? I did not let that affect me. I knew that if I wanted to go triple, I had to build somebody to diamond. And so I personally, I looked through the entire diamond chart and I decided, you know what? None of these people, they don't have the activity. None of them are rising up. None of them want to be a ruby or want to be a diamond, or they're not putting the work in for it. So I honestly built a brand new diamond from scratch with one of my brand new distributors that year. I promoted to triple in February and presidential the next month. And so I think it's really important in that situation to just look and see who's working and who wants it. And if you can't find that in that leg, then don't be afraid to build new, because new blood, I can't even tell you, like my 2.0 is filled with most of my new distributors from this year, and it's booming because of that. New blood changes everything.
I just wanted to add something really quick too. With my 2.0, I was I was boxed for triple diamond, about to go diamond, double, and triple like I did on my 1.0. And I felt like I was doing all the work, just like I think Christy was talking about earlier. And I've always been like that. I look at a chart and I say, if 50 people need to be enrolled, then I'm going to take that on. I'm going to do it myself because I have control issues. And it's, instead of implementing that layered leadership, but I also realized that I was working with the wrong people. And so what I did, and it really helped, is I took a triple chart. So if you have a chart and it's, you just feel like it's maybe not going anywhere, or it's not going as fast as you want it to, take that chart and simplify it. So I took a triple chart and I took it all the way down to a ruby, and I was like, wow, I don't know why I'm working with this person, or why did I think this person was going to be my executive, or, my diamond when I went triple, or my double when I went triple. So take it all the way down and see who exactly you're working with. And then if you have a diamond, that's not working or whatever, then like Ashley said, look in the depths of that. And I guarantee you're going to find somebody who wants it, and they're just begging for the recognition and the responsibility that you could, give them, and being the leader on your chart. And so that has really been huge for me, to just take it down. Every time I feel overwhelmed, I just take the chart down and really see who I'm working with, and it really helps.
I want to add something to that, because I know I've seen it happen with a lot of people on my team and myself. Sometimes we hear so often like new blood, new blood, new blood. But I also remember when I was first a distributor, Lori Conway, she said, just get to ambassador as fast as you can, do whatever you need to do, and then you can do whatever you want. So like if you are inches from a promotion and maybe this person doesn't deserve it, maybe you did most of the work, I'm going to push that promotion, and then next month I'm going to dig deep and work with somebody else. So I really think it's case by case, because I think I've seen people spin their wheels trying to go diamond, and then the ruby falls apart. So like, okay, I'm going to build a new diamond or a new ruby. And then they spin their wheels again because something else things are not always going to be in place always at the same time. So get there as fast as you need to, because guess what? Diamond is not going to have a problem being maintained when you're going for double. And so, you know, I think it's kind of a case by case. Make sure you know, have your upline look at it and be like, hey, you're way too close. You're way too close. I mean, I've seen people 800 away, but they're like, no, it's fine. Like these people, like they're not really working. I did it all. I'm like, just do it. And next month you could work with 1 million new people that you want to. But unless you are a super trooper enroller, you can't just keep building new teams over and over and over and over, spinning your wheels. So I definitely think it's case by case. And we know bonuses aren't everything. I went ambassador without a bonus. But if there's a bonus there, I'm going to push, even if that Ruby is like sucky and didn't do anything. If she's inches, like, and it has me diamond with a bonus, I'm going to do it. So kind of take that into consideration. I really think it's case by case, but that's why it's good to like talk to your upline. You guys are all diamonds and above, but like your charts keep getting bigger and bigger, and you will spin your wheels over and over if you just try to keep building new until everything's perfect. It won't. It will never be perfect.
Okay, next question is from a diamond. This is more so for those ambassadors that are high enrollers with distributors. How do you keep your team motivated when they see you are signing so many distributors, but you are not the person that they are building?
Well, I just tell them that I've never actually had anyone say it to me specifically, but I've had it happen to people on my team. This is, if you ask me why I'm not building you, I'm never going to help build you. You just cut that off for me, because I constantly their own business. And when I'm showing them a chart and saying like work with who they want to work with and with who's working with more, they understand that that is what I'm doing. I'm working on my 2.0. I'm not putting any distributors anywhere else. And they understand that. On a training a couple weeks ago, I said something and it was funny because one of my brand new distributors was on. And if this one isn't really doing anything, you can just make them a 400 leg and scoot it over. And she was like, and I had already placed a distributor under her and she was brand new. And I followed up with her and she's like, I'm really trying. I'm posting, blah, blah, blah. I have some potentials. I'm excited, blah, blah, blah. She's like, don't erase me off the chart. And I just laughed. But like, people just need to understand that like, this is their, business. And my biggest thing is that if you want to be a top income earner, enroll people. You make more money the more people you enroll that promote. So if I build you, your diamond check is going to be like $1,000. Do you want that? Or do you want the $2,000? So that's kind of how I do it. But that's where you just have to lay down the law. Like, I'm sorry, like that's not where I'm working right now. You have to do what's best for your business first. And you are helping tons of people along the way, but I can't just focus in one place. My whole business will crumble.
I just want to add something to that too. I heard something on one of the Zooms I was on, and it was something Pam said, and she said, it's okay to make a business decision. And that's something that I really took to heart, because we get to know our teams and we love all of them. And that's a good problem that you have 10 people you want to build. But, coming right from Pam, it's okay to make a business decision and you don't need to have guilt over that. If there's someone's running harder and you want to place under them, place under them. You have got to run with who's running. The times where I've tried to build a dead leg or drag a dead leg, as soon as I pull out from helping them, it crumbles again. So don't do it. Just don't place where they're not earning it. Unless, like Christy said, you're going for a promotion and you need that Ruby to rank up. Oh yeah, then I do that every time. I work with what I need. But when you have the option, run with the runners. Make a business decision.
I want to throw in here, I was never a high enroller, but I never had anybody placed under me either. So coming from that standpoint, I never expected anybody to build me, ever. Like, I just knew this is my business and I need to do it myself. I I think I had one DT placed under me. Yes, I did. And she's awesome. But again, like, you just have to do this. You have to realize that it's our own businesses. And so don't worry about what your team thinks, don't worry about, and if somebody asks, like, seriously, if somebody asks you, why aren't you building me? I would just, hey girl, this is your business. You've got this. Go sign them yourself. I'll help you. Like, if you need help with where to place, I'll help you, but you got this. Like, just encourage them, empower them, but just remind them, this is your business. You can do it. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, the next question, this is more like a green question from a double. She wants to please explain cabs, how they work, how to make sure they're paid, etc. I'm just going to briefly tell you. Basically, once you promote to Diamond or once you promote to double, every single distributor you enroll, let's use Diamond as the example, every distributor you sign, when you help get them Fast Start qualified, you earn $180. As a double, you're earning $220. So it's very important that you are Fast Start qualifying your distributors. And I'm just going to tell you, I still to this day do not track my cabs, because I know that if I sign up distributors, and now as an ambassador, I'm making $250 every single distributor I sign up when I get them Fast Start qualified. That's what I do. That's the guaranteed income that I make. And then I just teach them their steps to success. If they do it, great. I'm going to make $150 per person that they sign up. That's basically how it works. You sign somebody up, they sign somebody up, you make the $80 off the person. And so keep it simple that way.
I'm not green at all, but I do track my cabs because I'm red. And so I use the leadership level qualification report, and I just look at it, especially if I don't have a distributor, if my distributors are already Fast Start qualified, then, and I also challenge my new distributors to get their first 4 customers in 72 hours. Like, if you give somebody the expectation of 30 days, and really we don't even have the 30-day expectation anymore, because you really only have to have your first 4 customers by the time you go Diamond to get the bonus. So I set the expectation that they can do it in 72 hours if they reach out to their emergency contact list. And so if I have all my distributors Fast Start qualified, then I go to that leadership level qualification report, and you can set it to like Diamond is what I set mine to, because that's what I make the most money off of. And then I will double click the date and go back to the date. So like today's the 16th, so I would go back to April 16th, and I would look and see like, okay, this person has 1 loyal customer. They have their auto shipment set up. I have a new customer. I don't have anybody to Fast Start qualify, so this is where I'm going to move it to. Or I'll reach out to the enroller and say, hey girl, you're about to miss out on a $100 bonus, Fast Start bonus. Do you got somebody in the works? You need to get a customer under this person, or, talk to your person, your distributor, and see, if they've got somebody from their emergency contact list, they can sign up. Because those are, I'll just be honest, like I became a top, I went to Dash as a brand new prez because I had some cab months that were like $20,000. So cabs are like, they can be huge. So I do think it's really important to watch that and to talk to people, and especially talk to your new diamonds about the importance of that, because I even look at that with Fast Start bonuses just for people. When people say they start the business for $500, yeah, you can make an average of $500 by going Ruby, but you can also make $500 guaranteed by signing 5 distributors and helping them get Fast Start qualified and getting $500 in Fast Start bonuses. So if you're teaching people about the benefit of getting Fast Start bonuses, then you can teach them the benefit of getting to Diamond and getting $180. And so I do think that that's like with Reds, they speak money, and that's what's going to be something that's going to really drive them.
I'll add to that. So for those of you guys who are new Diamonds, if you don't quite understand it, so everyone that you enroll after Diamond, you're coded to. So anything that happened before, your enroller cabs off them if they're Diamond and above. So I sign up Jocelyn after I'm Diamond. I get her Fast Start qualified. I get the $100 in the weekly bonus, and I get the 80 on my paycheck, so they don't come together. And then Jocelyn goes and enrolls 5 people, okay? She enrolls 5 people and gets the $100 bonus from them. I get $80 for each one of them, okay? So that's how you can make $20,000 in cabs, because then now each one of these people goes and enrolls 5 people, and no one's diamond yet in this line. So they all enroll 5 people. They fast start qualify them. They get the $100. I get the 80 on every single one of them again and again and again and again until someone goes diamond. And then when that person goes diamond, so let's just say Jocelyn, she goes diamond, yay, woohoo. Okay, Jocelyn went diamond. Now everyone Jocelyn enrolls after diamond, she cabs off of. But everyone she enrolled before diamond, I still get that 80 until them, or, you know, until they go diamond. So that's how you can like freaking explode. And that's what Ashley was saying in the report. It's not just going to show you the people that you enrolled. It's going to show you every single person that you can get that 80 or that, what is it, like 45? I don't even know what they what they are. But as you go double, triple presidential ambassador, that 80 becomes more and more and more and more. And that's in the compensation plan. I'm not even sure what the amount is, which just shows like you don't have to know everything, but I do make sure that I get those fast starts. Because if you have a chart out and it's where you're working and it's where you're placing your distributors, you can easily see, okay, these are the 5 new distributors I placed. That's where I'm going to place my next 10 customers. It goes for my promotion, it goes for my chart, and it goes for my fast starts. And that's kind of just like how I do it. And that's where the layered leadership comes in, because I am 0 green, and even the red side of it, I can't pull that report. I've tried. I've looked at it and I was like, babe, if you don't do this, I'm not going to do it. So that's where that layered leadership comes in, making sure that like your downline knows they're going to miss out on money if they don't do this. And it also goes for you. So it's a win-win. So just making sure that they understand how the fast starts work. Oh, and this is sorry, there's like a fly. This is something some people on my team had to learn the hard way, including me. So I always thought that to be fast start qualified, they had to be commission qualified. That is not what it is. So the person has to have an auto ship set up and their 2 low customers in their first 30 days, or they have to have 150 personal bonus volume by their 30 days. So if they have 75 their first month, and by that, you know, next month at their 30-day mark, hit that 150, you will still get the fast start. So hope that clears up any confusion.
Okay. Next question. Oh, does someone want to add something?
I was just going to add to that too. I've even had some where, you know, it's the last day of the month and I've looked and they've got like 145 PBV and they don't have their auto shipment set up, but they've got their 2 customers. Like, to me, if you're a diamond, to get an $80 bonus, I'll place an order for some greens chews or something and move it under them to not miss that cap. So that's another point where that I always look at that report at the end of the month too, just to make sure. Or, you know, just kind of like if you look at it every couple of days, you can see who's about to cut off, who are you about to miss out on a cab on. And as a diamond, you're not going to have near as much to look at as an ambassador has to look at.
Okay, so next question's from a double diamond. I think this one's it'll be a pretty quick one, I feel like. How do you maintain your rank while going for the next promotion? So as simple put, my point of view here, if you promoted to diamond, you have that 10,000 in volume, your emerald should be pushing to diamond, so they should be good. Then your ruby should be pushing to emerald, so they should be good. If you are focused on building and keep pushing for that next rank, bringing in new customers, new distributors, and focusing your team on the steps to success, you won't have a problem maintaining. And then it's making sure you reach out to those loyal customers that have been ordering and say, hey, you're on your 3rd month. I just want to let you know, if you want to do another 3 months on maybe the same product or a different product, at the end of those 3 months, I'm going to give you $50 in product credit. That's something I've done to keep loyal customers ordering. It's one of the perks of a loyal customer, but I make it sound like it's something I'm giving them if they do it for another 3 months.
Something I want to add to that really quick too is, so when I went, because I went diamond, then double, and then triple back to back to back. And what I did basically to maintain while pushing for the next one is, so when I went diamond, the next month when I went double, I was helping the ruby for my diamond. I feel like there's like a light switch when you hit emerald. It's just like it's, I guess, like a full summit. Like I really just want to be so bad at the top, and you're so close. And so I basically was just like the most badass cheerleader for my emeralds, and they just went diamond. So I was working on my ruby to go emerald, and then just helping that balance out is going to help you maintain. And then just getting people to emerald, because I seriously feel like that's a turning stone, especially to go diamond, is huge too. So I just want to touch on that, to just focus on kind of the weaker side to help you promote and then also to maintain.
I just want to add to that really quick, because I know we have a lot of questions, but stop worrying about maintaining. I mean, if you go diamond, you should not be happy at diamond. And if you are, you're going to lose it. Bust out a double chart. And as long as you are actually working with your team, just like you did a diamond, you won't have to worry about it. And if you lose diamond, at least you know you did everything you could promoting to double, working for double. I lost my diamond. I lost my double. I lost bonuses for them a few months after, and it's because I got stuck in like this, oh my gosh, I need to maintain, I don't want to lose a bonus, blah, blah, blah. And then that paralyzed me. Just don't even worry about it, because if you're really going to be in this business forever, it doesn't matter if you lose a rank for a couple months. Like, you will not die. One day you will be ambassador, making way too much money. You won't even know what to do with it. So stop worrying about maintaining diamond. Seriously.
Can I add something? My Zoom cut out, so I'm not sure exactly what you guys all said. But, I've heard this quite a few times while I was triple presidential. They said, if you're just trying to maintain, you won't maintain. But when you start pushing for the next rank, that's when you're going to maintain your previous one. And all year last year, I was trying to maintain my presidential, and I had a double diamond leave. So I had to rebuild that leg. And I was thinking, I'm rebuilding. But the month that I started pushing for ambassador in January, like legit said, I am doing this. And I just knew in my gut I was going for it. My weak side, like, how we have I have a major runaway leg. Well, on the other side was always hovering between 50 to 60,000 to maintain my presidential. And in January, when I just said, I'm going for ambassador, it's do or die, it jumped to 90,000 just outside of my runaway leg. And the next month it jumped another 50, and then it jumped again. And it was because I said, goodbye presidential, I'm done with you. I am running for ambassador. And it's just like your team knows, your chart knows, you spread yourself thin, running with all of your legs. So just quit fearing that you're gonna quit working your business in fear that you're gonna lose your current rank, and just believe that you're gonna get your next one and start running for your next one, and you're gonna feel a shift in your volumes and in your team.
Let me add something to that too, because I've lived by this for a while. I've seen it so true so many times, that expectation is invitation. So if diamond is your destination point, if that's your goal, and then you're there and you're happy, then obviously you're not going to I don't think anybody on here accidentally went double or triple or presidential. So it's almost like there's an elevator, right? There's an elevator we get on, and there's 8 floors to the elevator, right? 8 floors to get to ambassador. And so my advice would be, don't get off the elevator, because what I see happen a lot is someone will get on the elevator and they'll go up and they'll go diamond, and then they get off on the diamond floor. And what that looks like for a lot of people is we're like, okay, I've done my job. Now let me become a cheerleader for my team and stop doing my own steps to success, and, encourage my team to do what I've done, but not do what I'm telling them to do anymore. So think of it that way. Stay on the elevator and just keep on going up. Because when you're focusing on what's in front of you and where you're going now, then you're not going to be thinking about losing anything. right? And it doesn't matter if other people on your team quit or someone you think is going to go Emerald quit, because the next leader will appear if we're doing our job, if we're constantly planting the seeds, and we're eventually going to have a harvest. I mean, it's just the law of sowing and reaping. So don't ever stop planting seeds, and take responsibility and ownership of your growth or your lack of your business. And when you have that kind of mentality and that kind of focus, and you have that expectation each month, and one other point while I'm making it is, a few days a month, I mean, it doesn't have to be every day, but maybe every Friday, or just figure out a day where you jot down somewhere where your volume's at right now. Because it's important to take a screenshot of your business each month and say, you know, whether it's the 5th of the month or the 10th of the month, is my business growing right now, or is my business falling apart, right? Because it's not really anything about maintaining. You're either growing and you're moving upward and forward, or your volume's going down and it's falling apart. So just kind of look at that, because then you'll know. I mean, if it's the 5th of the month and your volume's 20,000 less, I mean, for some of you, maybe a couple thousand less or whatever than the last month, then you got to do something new to get the momentum back. This business is all about getting momentum and keeping momentum. The great thing about it is, even if you completely lose momentum in your business, like some of you might feel like it was growing great and it just kind of went to crap, right? 90 days, you can go from a stalled out to promoting 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, for Dree and I, our story was that we had just kind of plateaued at Diamond, because that was our goal. Our goal was Diamond. We didn't have a new goal after that. So we just plateaued there for 6 months, went to our first conference, and we said, wow, let's really give it 90 days and go hard. And we went from Diamond to double the next month, triple the next month, presidential the next month. Blew my full-time Army career out of the window, multiplied it by 4, and made that run. And then the next year did another 90 days to run from presidential to ambassador. So it's really just a matter of, what do you want, and knowing what you want, and attaching a date to when you're going to have that by. And expectation is invitation. And, you know, exposure is everything. The fortune is in the follow-up, and work with the willing. And that's, as your team gets bigger, you're going to have more and more people trying to distract you. And that's when you have to really take inventory of who's really earning your time, who's really working. And again, they don't have to be personally enrolled. They just have to be people in different legs, right? We all just want somebody. It doesn't matter if they're on their 1st level, 5th level, 10th level. Build 5 legs of ambassadors, and then we have true beach money, where your team doesn't care or know if you're there or not, because you've got leaders and you've got that layered leadership.
Well, and I would just say too, I mean, I'll be really vulnerable with you guys. I said I went triple in 4 months. And then after that, I got to this place of like, holy crap, I just made a $10,000 paycheck. And then I didn't really know what to do. That's when I got into management mode, because it happened so fast that, so I didn't actually promote again to presidential until for almost an entire another year. And it literally, all it took for me was to go to Staples and print out a presidential chart on like a laminated size thing where I could actually write names in the boxes, because I quit putting names on a chart because the chart seemed so like the boxes were too small. And so then it took me an entire another year to go ambassador for the exact same reason, guys. I didn't print out another ambassador chart. So I went ambassador last March, and I lost ambassador in August, and that was really hard for me. I kind of had a mass exodus of some of my team going to other companies. But what I knew is that God brought me here for a reason, and God didn't want me to be back nursing 60 hours a week, night shift, away from my family. And so I knew I have more lives to change in this business. I still don't have ambassador back, but my paycheck's growing. I'm still in the top 75. I still enroll people. I'm still working my business like crazy. But don't think that we don't go through hardships even as ambassadors. Like, we go through times where, you know, things just seem rough. You go through a rough patch. It's a roller coaster all the time. It's just where your mindset is. And if you, like Chad said, get off the elevator and check yourself out, the longer you check yourself out, the harder it is to get back in. So you've got to stay focused and remember why you started. Make a new dream board. Sit down and talk about why you're pushing so hard in this business, what you want from this business, what this business can do for you, but also what you can do with this business for other people too. You can bring other people home. You can bring your husband home from the army. You can bring moms home to their babies. You can help people with infertility. Like you have lives to change, but if you check out, like you're going to go back to where you were before. You started this business for a reason, so don't let a curveball take you out of the game.
Okay, I feel like there was plenty of mic drops on that one, so let's go on to the next one. This is from a double diamond. What do you do when you are building someone? Ashley, mute yourself. Ashley Shade, mute yourself. There we go, okay. What do you do when you are building someone and then they decide they don't want to do it anymore? Before I build someone, I ask them if they want this and they still end up quitting. I feel like I'm constantly building because when the person I build quits, I start building someone below them and so on. So I just want to stress that signing up a distributor is like flipping a card in a deck of cards. There's always 52 cards in a deck. Sometimes when you flip a card over, you end up with an 8. Sometimes you flip it over, it's a queen. Sometimes it's a 2. And I've always looked at it that that's the way that distributors are. Sometimes you flip over a card and maybe they're a 2 and maybe they don't want it or they signed up and then they disappeared the next day or maybe they quit or canceled. We all get that. But if you continue to keep rolling and flipping over that card, you will eventually get an ace that gets it, that wants it, and they do it no matter what you say or don't say.
I think that's a pretty good answer because there's a lot of questions.
Okay, this one.
The only thing I was going to add to that is, I also, whenever I lost Ambassador, I almost got to a point of like, this isn't fun. This seems like a job. And so it took me, like one of my girls is on here, Kaylee Henson, and it literally took me like enrolling some new people that were so excited about the business that I was like excited for them that I got excited again. And that's when the business is fun, when you find a reason to be excited and you're helping new people. So that's where you've got to find those aces that you can run with.
Perfect. Okay, this next question, this is something that we've been talking a lot about at conference, at boot camps, at mini boot camps. It's from a double diamond, and they're asking, what is the best way to train your team? There's that list of like 10 themes that we share at boot camp. You can get that picture from your upline that walks you through the 10 steps, and they're super simple. It's like eSuite, auto ship, steps to success, buy gear, just simple things. But I think typically, like the number one thing as ambassadors, we would say we do is we plug them in to team pages, we plug them into the trainings and things like that, and we challenge them to get their 4 customers in 72 hours, and then we go from there. Match people with their energy. I think that's something that's really important. And then one of the next questions, I'm kind of putting this one together because it really kind of puts it together. They basically are asking if stacking is beneficial, but they say, like, if I place a distributor under a non-working person, they end up quitting because they have no one to help them. That used to be me, and I was struggling so bad with, like, trying to balance all these distributors that I was signing up because I was like, oh my gosh, they're all relying on me to help them. I don't know what to do. And so one of the things that I've done this year that has changed everything is I started a group message just for my brand new distributors this year. I titled the group message like make $500 with FitWorks. And now every single one of my new distributors I add into that chat. And the cool thing is if I'm not available, or let's face it, sometimes I don't want to answer the same question 5 times every day. I'll stick them in this group chat and say, okay, any questions you have, put them in this chat. And then one of my newbies that already knows the answer can answer that for them, and it teaches them to be leaders, exactly what Ashley was saying. So I think it's working smarter and not harder. If you have them all together and one person asks a question, they're all wondering the answer, so you only have to answer it once. And then I take it a step further, and I still use that chat to give them challenges. Or I can do flash contests in there and say, hey, whoever signs up a customer today gets a surprise. And that gets my newbies pumped up. So I think it's just being collectively making sure that nobody's, the nice thing with the group message is nobody gets left behind, because everybody's in there and they get all of the information. And the cool thing about group messages is if they leave the chat, then you know, okay, cool, you're not my runner. I'm not going to be working with you, you know?
I want to add something to that really quick. Both of those things just super fast. So as far as like training, you guys, all of us pretty much basically train the same way. I mean, maybe with a little bit tweak, but it's all pretty much the same. When I got started, my enroller, she was brand new. She didn't really train me, but I stuck around. I looked on the team page, and eventually after a few months, I figured it out. So don't stress yourself out on the fact that it's your fault if somebody runs or doesn't run. I think more importantly than anything is that personal connection with them, because then they can come to you if they're lost. They can come to you if they need help. Having that personal relationship is going to do way more than sending them 20 documents. So I think that's the biggest thing, just helping them get off, and don't give them too much too fast. And as far as the second thing, it's so funny because I'm like deathly afraid of group chats. Group chats are like, I don't know why, because I have had a couple, and then somebody says something negative, or when they leave, it kind of like stings people a little bit. So I'm like totally against group chats, but that's just me personally, unless it's like a little contest for people. But it's just having that personal connection. Like, you guys, if you are going to sign 20 distributors, like, you're just going to have to realize that you're going to need to make a personal connection with 20 people until they are under someone that you feel like you can connect them with. That's what I truly think. Like, nobody signed up with Sally. They signed up with you. And I usually, once they get the first 2 customers, I'll connect them with the person I placed them under. But I'm just like, I think it's totally about that personal connection. And then, you know, throughout the team page is how they kind of create those sideline friends. Like, people will say like, oh yeah, I've been talking to, you know, Janie and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, you guys didn't even know each other. And I think people just see each other that are like them, and they automatically kind of follow them and connect with them. So I have seen that kind of more organically. But I think it's just have that personal connection with them. That's when they're going to run.
Okay, this next question's from a diamond, and I think this is one that everybody needs to hear no matter what rank. How do you keep your team positive and working when their distributors are being negative or quit? So it's totally mindset. So who wants to start it off?
I will. I'll just say here that you're going to have a lot of joiners, right? Just like the gym has, just like college has, just like, I mean, how many people go to real estate school, get their real estate license, never sell one home? So there's no way around that. None of us are going to have 100% people who join and everyone's successful. So, and what I'll tell you is the bigger your team gets, the more you're going to have complainers, the more you're going to have people on there that it seems almost like they only join to try and destroy your business, right? You're going to have that. So, but you don't want to get ruined by that. So what I'll tell you, and this has helped me a lot, is believe in everyone, but count on no one, right? Believe in everyone that joins your business, but don't count on anybody. If, you know, take that a little bit further, let's say you have someone on your team and they join and they're working it, and you're working with the willing, and you've got them to emerald and you really want them diamond, and they quit, or, you know, there's a falling out or whatever. Well, just remember that they don't owe you anything. Like, anyone who joins your team, our job and our goal is to help them reach their goals, not for them to help us reach our goals. So it's just it's a slight mind shift, and it still stings, of course, when you know, if you have 10 people you could choose from and you choose Sally, and Sally gets to emerald and then just checks out or disappears, and that's frustrating. It kind of lose your faith in people a little bit. But what I'll tell you is just believe in everyone and count on no one. And eventually some of the people that you believe in will go, and then you'll show up in their testimony. And again, if it takes you a year to find one true leader on your team and you find one every year, is that worth it? It's worth it all day long. I know there's this picture, I think it was Mark Yarnell or somebody, he wrote a book, but it basically says that if we go out and we talk to, if we go out individually, each person on this chat, and we talk to 1,200 people, right? 1,200, you'll get maybe 300 that sign up. And out of those 300 that sign up, you'll get about 80 that do something. Okay. So keep in mind all the other ones that they sign other joiners, right? They don't do anything. So 80 that do something, you get about 35 that are serious out of that, but 11 will make you a millionaire. So really it's just like what we're saying, what everybody's saying here. You have people that join your team, you sort through, you run with the runners, jog with the joggers, walk with the walkers. But if someone quits or someone leaves, you have a couple choices there. You can try and chase them down and figure out what all went wrong. That's a huge distraction. That's going to waste a whole lot of time. Or you can focus on what's going right, and you can run and put your energy into what's going right and continuing to sow and continuing to support the people that really want it. And I can tell you that everybody on here that's hit the high levels, that's the tough choices that you have to make along the way. Is just sometimes you got to, there's some relationships you need to initiate, some that you need to cultivate, and some that you need to terminate. And that might be a rough word for some of you. I'm a very yellow person, so I tend to terminate the relationship way too late when I should have terminated a long time ago. But it's all part of this. And so it all goes back to working with the willing, and, always remember the 80-20 rule too. So about 20% of your team is going to account for 80% of your volume, right? Those are the people that deserve and have earned your one-on-one time. Work everything else with the group. The other 80%, those are usually the ones that aren't doing anything, but they're demanding all your time, right? Work them through the group. Make Zooms available occasionally for your whole entire team. Of course, have your team page and maybe a team call or something that everyone can always plug into, but make people earn your time. And I think that'll help you with the layered leadership piece. It's even in church building. Our business runs so parallel church building. Most churches get stuck at about 200 because 200 is when that leader doesn't have the capacity to know what's going on in every single person's life. That's when you have to hire an executive pastor so the church can continue to grow. You hit a point in this business where no matter how much of a micromanager you are, you can't possibly, you don't have enough time in a day, and you'll burn yourself out trying to know everything about everyone that's going on. So you have to start trusting that your leaders on your team, and, trust in increments. Don't just meet someone and become completely vulnerable with them. Transparency is one thing and vulnerability is a different thing, but trust people in increments. And, over time, like I started this off with, that 1,200 you're sharing it with, you'll eventually find the 35 that are serious and the 11 that are going to be presidential and beyond on your team. So hopefully that I know I went off on a rabbit trail there, but hopefully that answered that question.
I have something to add real quick. Sorry, I haven't been able to jump in here yet. What I've been telling people, some of my team that I feel are like on the verge of being runners, they keep asking, when is my team going to take off? When am I going to find a runner? And the minute you stop expecting things from your downline and expecting things from your upline and just controlling yourself, like what you are doing, is the minute your business is going to take off. So I always tell them, you need to be your runner. So, be what you want to attract. So stop waiting for a runner and just be the runner. Don't just do the steps to success. Do what you want to find. So if you want to find someone that's doing the steps to success 3 times in a month, then do that 3 times in a month. And you're the only one that you can control. And so that's kind of how I help people stay above the people quitting, the people not working. Just control yourself, and then everything else comes. So that's my little 2 cents on that.
Okay, this next question's from a Diamond, and I really wanted to touch this one because I feel like everyone at Diamond and above gets to this point where okay, let me read it. I feel like I do well with posting and following the 3-3 rule daily. I'm always able to get loyal customers every month, usually between 6 to 12, but I'm struggling with consistently enrolling distributors. what else can I share with them besides what I'm doing, how the business has helped me, that it's fun and gives them freedom, and that I can help them earn extra money. So, I think we've all been there where sometimes the distributors aren't coming in how they used to be. So what advice do you guys have to get out of that funk of not enrolling distributors?
I will say a lot of it is mindset. I mean, that's a huge thing. I could be doing exactly what I did last month, but if my mind is not actually focused on the business and I'm just kind of going through the motions, nobody signs, because it's just like that law of attraction. Like if you are excited, even if you're not talking to your potentials every day, like they can feel that. Like that's just what happens. That's why when you see somebody run and take off, they just like, you're like, how are you signing 50 people? And it's just because that's what they're attracting with their excitement. But I think too is stop waiting. You go diamond and you think, I got this bonus. People are watching me. They're going to sign up. My month after I went ambassador was my lowest month in like 4 years. Literally. It was my lowest month ever because I went ambassador. I was like, ballin'. Everybody's going to sign up with me. I went ambassador. I hit the top, yada, yada, yada. And I didn't sign anybody. And I was like, I signed 3 people that month. And I was like, what is going on? And my husband made a good point. He's probably just trying to make me feel better. But he said, you signed all your potentials to go ambassador, which I think that's a huge thing. We have to be, even when we are, signing the people, we have to remember that we want to plant those seeds still for next month, because we're so excited to sign all these people and we feel like it's an amazing month. And next month's not going to be a good month if you're not planting those seeds still this month. Just like I said, stop waiting for people to come to you. You cannot be afraid to message people. I mean, all of you guys are diamonds and up. So obviously you've reached out to people, but do more. It's just that power in numbers. And don't think that because you got a bonus, everybody's watching you now and they're going to flock to you. It's not, it doesn't work like that. Some people I think actually get intimidated by it. So you have to be reaching out to them.
I want to throw in here, I had the same experience as you, Christy, where the month after I hit ambassador was like the lowest month in the world. And I'm like, what in the world? And I think a lot of it is because it seems so unbelievable. Like it really does. I mean, when I started, I was like, there's nobody real there. So, as time progressed, I had some of my leaders leave and, volume was dropping and I'm starting to like panic. Right. And so of course my enrollments are staying down. And so I reached out to Pam Souter and she's just, who loves Pam? Oh, I love Pam. And so I'm sharing with her what I'm going through. And, I felt like a bad leader because I'm like, here, I can't even fulfill my steps to success. And, I just did ambassador and how can I be telling my team to do it if I can't do it? And I felt like a bad leader. I felt crappy, and Pam says, okay, so here's the deal. If you feel like you're a bad leader, that's why no one wants to join your team, because who wants to join the team of a bad leader? Like, you need to get over it. You need to get over it. And so it was this long, amazing conversation that she walked me through some stuff, but basically it is like, whatever you believe about yourself is what you're going to attract. And so it was just so important that I needed to like really just capture my thoughts. Like we have to take every thought captive. We really do. And so if you're having all these negative things coming at you and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, like maybe you were diamond and you lost it, or maybe, whatever, and you're starting to feel this way, like you're a bad leader, like you need to get over it. You're not a bad leader. Like we all go through ups and downs and it's totally okay. And so it's just really capturing those thoughts, taking them captive, and just really believing in yourself, because again, what you're putting out, you're going to get in. And so when I even like on my phone, my screensaver was like, I'm an amazing leader. I'm a top enroller. Like I just started making those declarations over myself because I needed to believe in it. Like I needed to believe that. But I think that's so important. One of the things Pam said was, how when you are dating, if you feel like you don't have any confidence, you feel like, oh, like I'm not pretty, nobody wants me, blah, blah, blah. Like you're only going to attract a bunch of losers. And all of a sudden you're like, why do only losers like me? Like this sucks. But the minute that you start having that confidence and like you're the same person, but all of a sudden you're just walking in confidence, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing. Like there is no man that like any man would be lucky to have me. Like, I'm going to make an amazing wife. I'm going to make an amazing girlfriend. Like, whatever it is that you're just walking in confidence, all of a sudden these amazing men are going to start coming your way. And that's why. It's because what you believe about yourself, it leaks out. It radiates into everything you do. And so, I feel like a lot of people really struggled this past year. And we joke about it, how it was like the pruning year. And so some of you, maybe you're struggling right now. Maybe you had a lot of your team quit, you lost a rank, whatever it is. That has no reflection of who you are as a leader. And you have to remember that. Like, you are still an amazing leader. You still built yourself to diamond, to double, to triple, to press, whatever you are. You did it. You're an amazing leader. So don't let those lies and those doubts come your way, because you're going to attract that. If you believe you're a crappy leader, guess what? No one's going to want to sign with you. But if you start to walk into who you really are, which is an amazing leader, a business owner, like anybody would just love to be a part of your team, then that's what you're going to attract. And people are going to want to be part of your team. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
One thing that I know Sam is on doing this with us, but this Eat, Pray, Hustle book is amazing. And we've been doing like just a Bible study on it. But one of the days, day 4, it says, can I be honest? For some of us, it's going to take all our effort not to focus on what we cannot do, but on what God can do. We have to break up with our addiction of focusing on weakness. I would go as far to say that some of us believe this is humility, but we are partnering with weakness. So the more that you are feeding your mind that, like, I can't sign distributors, I can't sign loyal customers, people are quitting, whatever you're feeding your mind, whatever, you have these little seeds that come in, if you're watering them and telling yourself this stuff and agreeing with it, then that's all you're going to get back, guys. So you got to walk away from that, let it go, pray about it. It's called Eat, Pray, Hustle. It is amazing. I can't turn it the right way. And it's only 20 days. Like, it's super simple, like 2 pages per day. And it's incredible. But it's really been a lot of aha moments for me. So that is one thing. Like, whatever you're feeding yourself, whatever, and that's where personal development comes in to be so important, that you're listening to something every day, whether it be in the car or whatever. That's huge, you guys. And if you're feeding yourself negativity, then that's what you are going to start to believe about yourself, and you will see a decline in your business and just in life.
Okay, I want to address this one, and I think this one summarizes a lot of the questions, and I think we've mostly covered most of them. But this one's from a presidential. How do you continue to create layered leadership? I feel like some people just don't get it and think that they don't have to reach out to their downline. And then one of the other questions was talking about how often should I be reaching out to my downline? So if we could touch base on both of those in this question.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, so you know what? I was on this awesome Zoom last night with Quinn Conway, you guys, and he said, you know what? People are born leaders. And I look back at that, I'm like, that is so true, because, as I'm looking at my chart, I'm like, okay, who's a leader? And I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, she's a mama bear. And so I know if I place somebody under her, she's going to take care of them. But I know if I place somebody here, they probably won't do anything. And so that's just, you're going to find those people on your chart. Like, you're going to find those people that want to step up, and it may take time. It took me going diamond to find leaders, or to even find one, you know what I mean? Like, and so you will find them, but I think, again, like, you truly attract what you are in this business. And so if you're not a leader, make sure you're pouring into yourself, becoming who you want to attract. And then you're going to see, look at your chart, who's enrolling. And, I feel like if you're enrolling, like, you already are a leader. You have customers, you're taking care of them, you're signing distributors, like, you want this. And so, you can't make somebody a leader. You cannot make anybody a leader. As much as we try, like, come on, how many people did you tell to get on the Zoom that are not on the Zoom? Honestly, like, how many people did you say, hey, hop on the Zoom, and they're not on the Zoom? They're not a leader. They don't want this, and that's okay. And that has nothing to do with you. And the sooner that you can let them go, the sooner that you just go and take off, the sooner that you just chop off the dead weight, like, I feel like you fly. Pam said, the sooner you let them go, like your volume's going to triple. But you're still sitting over here looking for these people that aren't working, that aren't the leaders that you're looking for, and you're not seeing the ones that are there. You know, you're not seeing the leaders that are already on your team. Like if you have people that are getting on the Zooms, you know, they're trying, you can see that, but you're so focused. I think sometimes it's so easy to look at the people that aren't on, the people that you're like, I want them to be such a leader. You're in that spot that I need you. But really that executive might be your leader, or that 400 leg might be your leader. And so you just have to, you know who your leaders are, you guys. You know. But I think, just stop being distracted by what's not there and focus on what is.
I just want to add to that really quick. I mean, that was amazing. But as far as like layered leadership, just like she said, like you can't force anyone to do it. But I just noticed with the people on my team, the ones that do want to be leaders, the ones that do want to be in the top 75, whatever, they're going to do what you do. They're going to say, hey, listen, I want to be where this person's at. I'm going to do what they do. And I never really noticed it until this past year, but I noticed like they do with their teams exactly what I do with them. Sorry. And that's huge with the people that actually want to be there and actually want to learn. They're going to do it, but you can't drag anyone along. So those people who they might have babe, they might have one or two distributors, but they are treating them as if they are a top income earner. That's when that's when you go and say, okay, that's the person who's willing to learn. Because I do have my enrollments up, I'd rather work with somebody who is willing to learn than somebody who enrolls and is so stubborn and won't listen to anything I say, and they think they're the shiz, and they think that, God gave them this gift of enrollment so that they could boss people around and make a lot of money, So that's where just keep your enrollments up, and like your whole business will explode, because it sounds bad, but you can control what you want to do, who you want to work with, because you don't have to work with people who are not treating their teams correctly. And if you see that non-layered leadership, reach out to them. Like I never like to step on anyone's toes, but if I bring it to this leader's attention and they don't do anything about it, I will step in and I will say, okay, this is what you should be doing with your team, because it is, like Pam says, it's a business decision. You cannot always treat this business like relationships. You have to take the time to look at it from the business perspective and what's going to actually work for your business growing.
I just want to add something really quick too. Something that really helped me is I stopped focusing so much on like my main leaders and what my main leaders were doing, and I went and I was looking at the executives. And so I got with like those diamonds and emeralds, especially too, the emerging leaders, and I asked them how their executives were doing. And so we kind of like flipped the chart upside down, and we gave a lot of responsibility to the executives. And so teaching people, especially recognition, is so huge. And the best way to teach is to obviously do it yourself. Have a I'll go first attitude, and just show them by you recognizing, and then that's going to it is going to trickle down. And so obviously you're not going to be able to force anyone to be a leader, but when you're a leader yourself, people are going to come out of the woodwork and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that person's an amazing leader and I had no idea. And so just being consistent with that I'll go first attitude, and then digging deep within that. And sometimes it's not that you're not forcing somebody to be a leader or teaching them or anything like that, but a lot of people, especially if you place a distributor there, they might feel like they're stepping on your toes. And so I like to say, this is my baby bird that I placed with you because I know you're amazing. I know you're going to be a great leader for them. You're going to offer a ton of support for them. And so pay attention. And when they get those first 4 customers, shout them out in the group. When they sign their first distributor, shout them out in the group. And that's on you. I'm doing the behind the scenes work. I'm, offering one-on-ones and stuff, but I want you to do the recognition. And I think that's huge to just place that in their hands. And it does so much for them too, because they really feel like a leader when you put that on them.
Okay, so this is going long, so I'm just going to say let's wrap it up. Maybe if you feel prompted to share like an aha moment or one last tip, go ahead and do that.
I'll share something. I know I shared it on a different Zoom, and it was kind of an aha moment for a couple people, and it really helps them get their enrollments up. But, we want to stay inspired by other people, but they're not going to build your business. And so something that I learned really early on was to stop following people, stop following other leaders, liking, commenting, scrolling. Their job is to get people to look at their posts and read their posts. So if you go to their profile, if you're following them, that's what you're going to do, and you're going to waste your time doing that. So I don't follow any leaders. If I need a little bit of inspiration or a little bit of, new ideas, I'll go to their page, I'll give myself a few minutes, and then I'll jump off, because we all know that's how the comparing game comes. And that's just the distractions. And I was talking to a presidential, and she was like, I follow all the leaders. They're all over my newsfeed. I'm like, well, that's why you're not enrolling anybody, because you don't have any potentials on your newsfeed anymore. It's all It Works people. Even my own personal leaders, I don't follow them after they have their thing together. I still message them personally. We have our own personal relationship, but Facebook and Instagram is a business for you now. It's your business. So for me, it was the smartest thing I ever did to just unfollow all the people that weren't on my team, all the people that already knew how to do their stuff, and all the leaders that, I had been following. And it just opened up a world of all these potentials that I had honestly forgot were even there. So that's just my last little tip.
I have an aha here too. I had life happen, and I was listening to, my team was saying that a lot. I feel like in 2016, I was getting a lot of people say, I had life happen, and so I'm just going to take a step back, and I'm going to reevaluate what's going on, and I might pick my business up later, but right now I just need to breathe, and, all of those that you're going to hear eventually at some point. But it was weird because I was hearing it, and I'm a red personality. None of that affects me whatsoever. I just move on. But I had life happen, and it was weird because I was hearing all of that, and I was saying it out loud, and I was giving myself an excuse to take days off. And I literally, I lost Ambassador too. I got it back in January, but I lost it. And I felt like I was watching my business not fall apart, but I knew I was better than that. And I knew that my family was better than that. I knew my people on my team were better than that. And so to take a break is okay, but don't let any excuses let that happen, I guess, because there's nothing. Life happens to everybody, and we take moments, and then we keep going, and we figure out ways to incorporate the business into those obstacles or whatever you want to call it. But when you're listening to people, and I was like, begging people to stay on my team, like, no, like, let me help you, this and this and this is happening to me, and I forgive you if you want to come back, and so I let that sink in, and I stopped myself from enrolling, and I really took a look at my follow-up list, and I was like, there were so many people that deserved that time that I was spending wasted on my excuses, and then wasted on the people who were going to walk away anyways. And so when you really just, focus on that new blood and those people that are going to be attracted to you, when you have that momentum and the success loves speed attitude, then it's a total game changer. And I'm like a different person after going through all of that, and I'm stronger. And so anybody who's going through that, you just have to, I promise there's a rainbow, but you have to recognize that it's yourself that needs changing first.
Okay, I have something to say too. Okay, so I have two things that my aha moments, you guys, I feel like everybody gets an aha moment from Pam Sauter, but this one literally, I think it just stuck with me. And so she said the answer to every prayer is new blood. Literally, the answer to every prayer in your business, whether it's increase, like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to increase my volume? New blood. How am I supposed to do this? New blood. Like, if you're not constantly bringing in new blood, then something's probably not happening in your business. And so you can tell the months when you haven't signed the steps of success, or you haven't signed distributors, because something's probably not where you want it to be. And so that was a huge thing for me. Just once you get that aha moment, like, the answer to every prayer is new blood. You have to be bringing people into this business. And the second thing is, I had an aha moment last night again on dude Quinn Conley, man. He's like gold out of his mouth. I'm like, it's like just change. So, you know, he said that I think something that a lot of people are doing wrong is that they're so concerned with knowledge. Like, oh, we're getting, and that's a good thing. Like, we have so much knowledge that it's actually overwhelming. And like, I want to let you guys know, we're not getting paid right now to be on the Zoom. Okay. We are not getting paid to be on Zooms, to get on Zooms with our team. We're not getting paid to go watch YouTube videos every single day. We get paid for two things: enrolling loyal customers and enrolling distributors. If you are not doing one of those two things, then your paycheck probably is not where you want it to be. So sometimes I think it's get off the Zooms and go take action. Like, yeah, we need this. We're all fired up. I'm fired up. I got a page of notes. But now it's time to get off and go follow up with some people. Go send out 20 messages. Do something that you can truly control, because you know what? If you had a 9-to-5, I don't know, some of you guys probably do, but if you had a 9-to-5 and you went into your job and you read the training manual all day long and did nothing else, how long would you work at that job? If you went in your job and you read the training manual all day, how long would you work at that job? You're not going to work at that job long, because all you're doing is training. And so stop training. You know what to do. You're a leader. Go out and do it. Like, go out and enroll those loyal customers, enroll those distributors, start inspiring your team, because this truly starts with you. And until you get you right, your business will not be right, you guys. Until you get you right, take responsibility of this business, go out, get off this Zoom, and go take massive action, because that is the only thing that is standing between you and $10,000 a month. It's the only thing standing between you and retiring your husband. I don't know where you are, but it's the only thing that is standing between you and marking off every single dream that's on your dream board. I'll mute myself now.
I love that. I think my husband was on the same Zoom, because I came upstairs and he was listening to Quentin until like 11:30 last night. But something that I heard in the background of Quentin, he said potential has nothing to do with success. A lot of you have potential, but are you doing the work? I mean, you obviously have potential or you wouldn't be on this Zoom, but are you doing the work still? Are you doing the work that got you here still? And so success comes more from those who have grit and are willing to get in the trenches and get their hands dirty. So are you still getting in the trenches and getting your hands dirty? Are you still doing the same thing that got you here? If not, that's the answer. That's what's going to take to get to the next level. But you've got to get back to doing the basics. And like Carrie said, you can only do so many Zooms and so many trainings. You gotta get out there and do the work.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw my aha moment in there real quick. That's also good, guys. I feel so inspired. Okay, I think there's two ways that a lot of us really waste our time, and it's absolutely scrolling through Facebook, like Christy said. And then the second thing is comparing ourselves. We compare ourselves, we get discouraged. Guys, just stop doing it. The reason I always told myself, stop doing that. Don't compare yourself. You're not her. But what really made me stop comparing myself was realizing that all the time I was taking to compare myself and feel discouraged, I was actually just taking that from my team. If I took that energy and I poured it in, instead of comparing myself and saying, why am I not here, and feeling down, and if I took that energy and I poured that into my team, I probably would be where that girl I'm comparing myself to is right now. So that just hit me, and I knew that, but this year I realized not only is it a bad thing to compare yourself, you're taking that from your team who trusted you to sign with you. Take that energy and put it to good, put it to work, pour into your team, and again, your chart is going to change.
Okay, it doesn't sound like there's another one coming. So I just wanted to kind of end with this one scripture. This is in St. Mark chapter 9, verse 23. And it says, Jesus said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. So I know that the scriptures are true. And if it says in the scripture that if we can believe that that is possible, then it is. So whatever goals and dreams that you have, believe you can do it. because you can, and anything is possible in this business, but you've got to put in the work, you know. I mean, just thinking of like any story you've ever heard in the Bible of anyone doing an amazing thing, like Noah building the ark. He couldn't just think about doing it. He couldn't just, you know, pray and get the instructions. He had to take the action and do. And that's where all of us are at in our business now. That verse, once again, is Mark chapter 9, verse 23. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. I feel like this is definitely something we'll do regularly, a big, huge diamond and above Zoom. This was awesome. So thanks again, guys, and have a good night.
Hey, one more thing, sorry, that I wanted to add just from this Eat, Pray, Hustle book. It says, he loves to put his super in our natural. So just remember that, you know, we do this business and some things that we think are impossible, like he wants to show off. If you believe in him and trust in him, he wants to show off and prove that with him, you can do it. So I just think you guys should really get this book. It's amazing. Have a good night. I recorded it too, so I'll upload it.